Hi, I'm Jeff with Precision Replacement Parts. I'm here with Greg today. I'm going to show you how to install a WFP 3110-87. Greg, what's this fit?
These fit a 1987 to 1993 Dodge Dakota. These are the outer belt lines.
Now you can also get them individually. Let's get started.
All right, we're going to start the process by removing the interior door panel. To do that, we first want to remove the S-gut around the door release. What we're going to do is we're going to pry up on the front of this part and slide it backwards. And it has these hooks. And this is the part we're lifting up. We then have a screw up in this area. There's a screw in the door pull area. And then we remove the locking knob, and that just screws off. And then we remove the door glass crank handle. This is an Allen wrench, 5/32 in this case. Remove that. Now that we have the fasteners out of place, what we'll do is take our panel removal tool. There's clips around the perimeter, lower three sides. Now that those are all popped loose, we'll lift up on the panel. Okay, in the last step, we showed you that we are pulling the clips out of the door. These are the clips that I'm talking about. They're a wire in nature, and they do have their locations. Now with the door panel out of the way, what we're going to do is take down the dust shield. Now, what retains the outer belt line to the door shell, there's 5 screws here. And to gain access to those, we need to lower the door glass enough to get at those. So what we will do is we'll be removing 2 limiters at the bottom portion of this door through this access hole. All right, we're going to start by removing this limiter first. I've rolled the door glass down a little bit to remove a portion of that regulator, gain more access. Got 2 8mm screws here. The track on the back of the door glass has this guide at the bottom, and it fits right into this opening. The screws go into these corresponding holes. The other limiter is right here, and there's a rivet here and one from underneath. And what we're going to do is we're going to punch out the center first. Make sure that's clear. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. I have a drill bit, 5/16, we're going to take the head off the rivet. Same thing underneath. Okay, that rivet's removed. And that rivet's removed. And this is the other limiter. And this is what the door glass actually stops down onto, this rubber pad. Now we'll go ahead and roll the door glass down to gain access again to the screws that retain outer belt line. Now we have to shift the door glass a little bit to fully expose the screw heads. This being the top edge of the door glass, taking those limiters out, again, it gives us just enough access to get to those retaining screws. All right, now I've got, with the magnetized screwdriver, remove the screws, bringing them up over the top edge of that door glass. If it does come off the screwdriver, it'll just go down inside the door, easily retrievable. Now with the screws removed, just slide up out of place. Okay, again, these are the areas where the screws go through to fasten it onto the door. And we'll go ahead and slide it down into place. Now we can reinstall the screws. Just going to get them started before I tighten anything up. All right, then we'll just snug them into place. Now the screw holes were slotted, so I'm pushing down on the belt line to make sure it's fully seated onto the door shell while I'm tightening the screws. All right, we're going to roll the door glass up to gain access to put our lower limiters back in. I am going to start with the end one, the plastic one that goes onto the door glass channel. Order of installation of either one of these limiters does not matter. I made sure that that plastic piece was up into the door glass rail. Tighten those up. Now I'm going to rivet this limiter back in place. Going to use our part number rivet is 11620. Do the same thing to the one on the bottom side. All right, and reinstall our dust shield. Have to pay attention to put the threaded lock rod up in the middle, up in between. Now, we're able to take our panel and line it up with the lock rod. I am going to start that knob, screw that on a couple threads, take the panel up and over the metal lip. It's in place, lines up. What we're going to do is just install those clips, pushing them into their openings in the door shell. Go ahead and reinstall the screws that hold the panel to the door shell also. I'm going to go ahead and roll the door glass all the way up. The orientation was forward at about 10 o'clock. I will reinstall that fastener. Now again, this S-cut has an orientation. It slides on from the back of the panel forward to engage these little teeth. Go ahead and double check all the fasteners are secured. And finish installing the lock knob. That operates. Go ahead and operate the door glass. All looks in proper order, and you're done.